All right, so as always, right in the beginning of class, you might hear a bell as people come in just a little bit late. Just stay in the flow if you hear that happen. And as always, if I give you a cue for something that doesn't feel right in your body, I would love it if you did something else. Stretches of any kind are always good. Resting is also good. So all of that being said, let's take a moment to find our comfortable seat where we're going to begin today. Remembering, as always, that there are multiple ways to be comfortable in a seated position. So if legs folded like mine feels good to you, you can stay like that. And if not, please feel welcome to change the way you're sitting so that your body is more comfortable. So once you have found your seat, simply bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. And just begin to cultivate some nice, deep belly breaths. So, as always, beginning with deep, beautiful, full breathing. And as always, as you breathe, let's begin to feel movement going along with that breath. So, on your inhale, roll your spine out nice and long. Exhaling, softening a little bit, relax your shoulders. Inhaling, lengthening your spine. And exhaling to soften. On your next exhale, let your hands fall down to your lap. On your inhale, still feel that lifting, rising energy. On this exhale, draw your navel back. So we begin to round the spine. And then inhale, lengthen your spine, maybe shifting your breastbone forward. Exhaling, scooping back, rounding through your spine. And inhaling, lifting, lengthening, shifting forward. Exhaling back. So we're feeling a little bit of cat-cow energy right here. And then maybe as we flow here, we begin to find more of a wave pattern. So on your inhale, you can dive your heart forward, rolling all the way up. Exhaling, scooping back and diving again. Really feeling that beautiful full articulation of your spine. And you can experiment here, right? So you can dive over to one side, over to the other. Again, just moving intuitively and feeling what feels good in your practice this morning. And then finding your way back to center, to stillness. Draw your hands to your heart and close your eyes. Take a moment to set your intention for your practice today. Once that intention is set, simply release your hands down and sweep your feet around behind you. We're going to make our way into tabletop. And once we've arrived at tabletop, let's keep moving our spines, right? So we begin with cat-cow, inhaling, rolling open. Tip your tailbone to the sky and exhale. Coil your belly in and drop the crown of your head. Inhaling, rolling open. And exhaling to coil. Now, as always in this space, I invite you to either stay in cat-cow or begin to experiment with some freeform movement. So if it would feel really good to shift side to side or forward and back, finding like a C-shaped pattern with your spine, whatever feels nice here, that's what we want to feel. And then find your way back to tabletop. Draw your knees together a little closer underneath your hips so that they're centered underneath your body to help support you. On your inhale, extend your right leg long behind you and lower your toe down to the mat. Now begin to press into that right heel. Stretch out your calf. As always, keeping your breath nice and slow and smooth. And then we're going to lower that right knee down and feel that on the left side. So inhale, extend your left leg long. Lower your toe and begin to press into your left heel. Lower your left knee down to join your right. We are going to meet in forward fold from here. So you can either walk your hands back to stand or step your feet forward, whatever feels better in your body this morning. Once you've found your forward fold, let's just take a moment to surrender right here. So as always, just soften. Try to relax the back of your neck and head. It's really normal to try to hold tension here, even when we're inverted. If it would feel good to find movement, please feel welcome to find a gentle rocking motion. You can turn your head from side to side as well. Relax your jaw, just noting points of tension and then releasing. And then come back to stillness at the center. Bend your knees, exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides, and if you're not already there, set yourself up at the top of your mat in our first mountain pose of practice. As always, we're going to let that first mountain pose be very conscious. So take a moment to really feel your feet on the mat. You can shift back and forth, side to side, finding that perfect position. You can also lift your toes up and spread them and set them down again. Sometimes that really helps me feel grounded and rooted. Once you feel that nice strong base, bring your hands to your belly. Love your belly up a little bit. Our bellies are amazing. They do such cool things for us. And then find that space just beneath your navel and draw those muscles in and up. So we feel like a nice strong pillar right here in the core. Shoulders roll back and down and palms face forward. And we discover just how active simply standing can be. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Bend your knees and plant your fingertips on a set of blocks or onto the mat. On your inhale, step your right foot back to lunge and lower your right knee down. So as always, we're going to take a moment to set up our safe lunge here. If you're using blocks, you can frame that left foot with them. Otherwise, simply plant your fingertips. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. Begin to stretch out the back of your left leg. Your left toes might come off the mat a little bit. Inhaling forward to lunge, melt your right hips. We want to sink toward the mat. And then exhale, shifting back. That left leg stretching out. Inhaling forward. And flowing lunge is just these two positions and the movement between them. So just flow back and forth on your breath. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Plant your hands, tabletop. So knees are beneath the hips, wrists beneath the shoulders, and let's find movement of our spines. Inhaling, rolling open. Exhaling, coiling the belly in and dropping the crown of the head. Yogi's choice right here, cat-cow or free-form spinal movement, whatever feels better in your body today. Come to stillness, come to a neutral spine. Walk your hands, one handspan forward, and shift your shoulders over your wrists, finding half plank. Remembering, of course, that you can adjust this position for your particular body, right? It's one handspan forward in my body. It might be 2 or 3 in yours. We want our knees, hips, and shoulders in one long line. Draw your navel in, tailbone is long as we bend our elbows and float our way all the way down to the mat. Walk your toes back. Once you touch down, bring your fingertips wide. They can come off the mat. Begin to roll one shoulder and then the other through creative cobra. Just finding big, beautiful shoulder circles here. Nice full expression. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop, or if you have one in your practice and you'd like to feel it, you're welcome to take downward facing dog here. And wherever you have found yourself, whether that's tabletop or down dog, I'd like you to find movement. So if you're in down dog, walk out your dog, bend one knee and then the other. If you're in tabletop, shift your spine around. And then find your way into stillness. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. Now, if your back knee's lifted, go ahead and lower it down to the mat. And we're going to set up that nice safe lunge with the right foot forward. So you want to bring your hands to either side of that right foot or grab your blocks and add a little bit of length if it feels like the mat's a little far away today. Inhale to look forward and exhale, shift back. Begin to stretch out the back of your right leg. Again, your right toes might pull up off the mat a little bit. Inhaling forward and exhale back. Inhaling forward and exhale back. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together. And fold, soften. Find some ease, find movement if that would feel good. Let it go, breathe. And then come to stillness at the center. Bend your knees, exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Look down, check out your feet, see if your Tadasana, if your mountain pose is still stable, and if not, just reset real quick. We're gonna feel that root to rise energy, pressing down, energy coming up, strong core, open heart. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge and lower that left knee down to the mat. Now, this time we're going to walk our hands up the right knee. Now, if you notice that being a little lifted in lunge feels unstable, grab a block and place it by your left hip. That way, if you need to touch down, you've got a safe surface right here all ready for you. So we're going to find a hip opener pulse right here for this hip flexor. On your inhale, lift up and out. Exhale, sink into your right knee, stretching that left hip toward the earth. Inhaling to lift. Now remember, we want to concentrate this movement to the lower body so your heart stays in the same place, right? We keep the upper body lifted and we're just flowing within the lower body. On this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Tabletop. From here, walk your hands forward, shift your shoulders forward, find your half plank. Now, with control, and again, staying engaged through your core, float your way down to the mat. Once you've touched down, walk your toes back and bring your fingertips out to either side. Roll your shoulders. Big, beautiful shoulder circles. Remember that clicking noises are how our bodies tell us they love us. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Find your way, tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Find a little movement here and then stabilize wherever you happen to be. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. Lower your right knee down to the mat. So let's walk our hands up that left knee. We're going to find that same pulse with the left foot forward. Remember, you can always grab a block and place it by your right hip if you'd like to have a surface there to support you. Let's find the pulse. Inhale, lift up and out. Exhale, sink deeply into that left knee, melting your right hip toward the mat. Inhale to lift. And exhale. On this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and fold. Soften again, trying to relax. Relax the back of your neck, relax your head, find movement. Come to stillness, bend your knees, exhale. Roll your way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check in with your Tadasana. Reset your mountain pose as necessary, remembering to keep your core strong, tailbones nice and long. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees and plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your right foot back to lunge, and let's lower that right knee down. Now, we're going to wiggle the left foot a little bit wide this time and bring our hands to the inside. So this puts us in a deeper hip stretch. And if you're already noticing that this is too much, you can grab a set of blocks and place them underneath your hands here to give you a little bit more height, which will decrease how much the hip is stretching. So once you've found your starting position, inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift back. This time really let those left toes rise, and you can walk your hands back to get a deeper stretch. Inhaling forward, softening the hips toward the earth. Exhaling back, left toes rise. Inhaling forward. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Tabletop, knees come beneath the hips. Walk your hands, one hand span forward, shift your shoulders over your wrists. Yogi's choice this time. You can take chaturanga in half plank, or if you're feeling a little more ambitious today, if you want to turn up the heat, turn your toes under to lift your knees. With control, bend your elbows and float all the way down to the mat. Walk your toes back, create space. Bring your fingertips wide, roll your shoulders. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. Lower your left knee down if it's lifted. So we're going to find that same little adjustment here. Wiggle your right foot wide a little bit and bring your hands to the inside, remembering that you can always add a block or blocks underneath your arms to make this stretch less intense. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. This time, really let your right toes rise. You can walk your hands back. Inhale forward. Now soften your hips toward the mat. And exhale back. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and fold. Soften. Come to stillness. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale. Rise and open. Exhale. Hands come to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides. Last time for our opening salutation, our opening namaskar. So let's set up our mountain pose one last time. Inhale to rise. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees and plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge and lower that left knee down. Let's walk our hands up the right knee. So again, if you need a little support here, if this feels unstable, bring a block to your left hip, okay? On your inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhale, open out to either side, really melting your hips toward the mat. Inhale. Now, if you've been carrying some stuff around, some emotional Sturm und Drang, there's a fun breath pattern that can be used in movements like this called lion's breath. So on your exhale, we stick out a tongue and make a terrible face, letting go of whatever we've been carrying. And both hands come down to the mat. Knees come beneath the hips. Walk your hands forward, shoulders over the wrists. Find your half plank, or if you'd like to turn up the heat, turn your toes under for full. With control, nice and slowly, maybe taking more than one breath to come down. Chaturanga. And then once you have touched down, as always, walk your toes back. This time, let's bring our fingertips to directly beneath our shoulders. Now, for Cobra Pose, we want to protect our necks. So I'd like you to look at the mat. So look down, keeping the back of your neck nice and long. Inhale, roll your shoulders forward, up, back, drawing the blades together. And exhale to soften. 2 more times, protecting your neck the whole time. And press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands and then lower your right knee down. Let's walk our hands up that left knee. So again, grab a block if you'd like to have a little support by your right hip. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhaling, opening out. Inhaling to open, hi Lily. Now remember, you have the option for lion's breath here if it's helpful for you. And on this next exhale, we're going to bring both hands down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step together and around the cat and find forward fold. And just find some ease right here. Rock from side to side, relax. Turn your head, relax your jaw. Find a little movement. And then come to stillness at the center. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way all the way up. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's make our way all the way down to the mat. We're going to begin core cultivation down on our backs. So let's roll all the way down onto the earth. Now, as always, the first time we touch down, let's just find some gentle movement right here. So you can rock from side to side. You can find some nice big circles, drawing big circles with the knees, just noticing what causes relief. What causes a pleasurable sensation. Really? Now, come to stillness at the center. And we're just going to do a quick set of hip circles while we're down here. So what I would like you to do is relax your arms down to the mat. Now, engage your belly enough that you can feel your lower back pressing against the mat, and then keep that as you open your left knee out to the side, down and around and back through center. And we're just going to feel a few circles on that side. And I'd like you to make sure your belly is strong this whole time. That helps keep us from putting any tension or any pressure or pulling on the lower back. And let's feel that on the other side. Open your right knee out, drawing big circles. And again, remembering that popping noises are how our bodies express their love. And come back to center, to stillness. Now from here, let's press our heels to the sky. We're going to set ourselves up for yoga scissors. So leave your hands facing down, palms are facing the mat, shoulders are relaxed. Draw your navel toward your spine, and on your exhale, lower your right heel down. So this might come to 45 degrees. It might come a little lower or a little higher. Inhale to center, and exhale, lower that left heel down. Inhaling to center. So remember, the lower that heel goes, the bottom heel, the more challenging this becomes on your core muscles. So please change this exercise so that it fits the level that you wish to participate at today. And let's draw everything in. Rock from side to side, let it go. All right, next core cultivator. So keeping your knees bent, open them out and draw them toward your armpits. We're going to keep that deep bend in the knee as we press our heels to the sky. So we have a little bit of a squatting position right here. On your exhale, press your palms between your feet. Inhaling back down to the mat. Exhaling, pressing. Inhale to release. Okay, so this is option one. This is plenty of work. If this is cultivating and strengthening, you stay right here. If you would like to add on a little more challenge, on your inhale, extend to pike, arms and legs reaching away from each other, exhaling to squat, inhaling to pike. And let's draw everything in and let it go. Rock from side to side. From here, let's rock our way forward to seated and make our way up to standing. On your way there, grab a block so that you can position it at the center of your mat on the long side of the mat. So we're going to take a nice wide stance on the mat here. We're going to bring our toes out nice and wide. Feet are parallel. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Now, if the earth feels a little far away, find your block. Otherwise, you can bring your fingertips down to the floor or to the yoga mat and just soften right here in your forward fold. Again, taking a moment to try to relax your body, relax your head and your neck and your jaw. And then let's begin to find a little bit of movement right here. So we're going to walk our hands all the way over to the right side. We're going to bend that right knee a lot. Inhale to center and over to the left, pressing the edge of the right foot away. Inhale to center, over to the right. Inhale to center and over to the left. So this is called flowing skandasana. And it's one of my favorite hip openers. It's so good for the inner thighs and the hips and the lower back. And then simply find your way back to center. Exhale to roll your way all the way up to standing. Now from here, we're going to draw the heels in a little bit and bend our knees, coming into high yoga squat. On your inhale, lift up and out. Exhale, sinking into high yoga squat, high malasana. And just following the breath right here, inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. Now, as we flow on your next exhale, when you come down to high yoga squat, just check in, make sure that your legs are being turned outward, right? So we're feeling this through the hips rather than the knees moving forward. It's an outward sensation. Exhale to lower. On your next inhale, let's add some full moon arms. Exhale through heart center. Inhale. Finding your way back to standing, we're going to draw the hands through heart center and release. Now, we're already perfectly positioned to move into warrior two. So what I'd like you to do is turn your right foot to face the short side of the mat, and then dial your left foot out to the side so that it is perpendicular to your right foot. Bend your right knee. Good. Check in with your warrior two. So notice if it would feel better to make that stance wider or narrower. Then turn your heart to the broad side of the mat. So hips, belly, heart, all of it is open. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips wide. Exhale, coil energy into your core. Inhaling, opening the heart, maybe lifting through the rib cage. Exhaling to coil. So drawing back to a little bit of that spinal movement from the very beginning of practice. Now this time, as we expand, we're going to flip that right hand, that's not a foot, that's a hand, to face the sky. Inhale, sweep up and back. Exhale, right elbow or right hand coming down to the right knee, left arm reaches long. Inhaling up and back. And exhaling. So in warrior two, we are enjoying the opening of the side waist. We're enjoying the strength in our legs. We're feeling a little bit of stretch in the hips. It does so much. On this next exhale, begin to dive your right arm underneath your right knee, Superman your arms, inhaling up and back. So we're going for that deeper expression, that deeper hip stretch. Dive the arm, inhaling up and back. And of course, the challenge here is to try to keep your right knee bent at the same angle the whole time. Now on this next exhale, we've got a challenge stretch. We're going to sustain. So I'd like you to plant your right hand to the inside of your right foot. This might be too deep. If it is, grab a block or simply walk your hand up, right? Maybe we find that hand on the thigh instead. Breathe right here. You can do it. I believe in you. And release. Left arm comes down, walk to the broad side of the mat, feet become parallel. Deep breath in, exhale, forward fold, soften, let it go. All right, so we're gonna make our way to the left foot. So we're gonna turn that left foot to face the top of the mat. Right foot is gonna dial out to the side this time. Exhale, roll your body up, warrior two, facing the other direction. Relax your arms down and just check in with your stance as always. Adjust things that don't feel right. So you can change how wide your feet are, you can reposition. And then turn your heart toward the broad side of the mat. Inhale, radiate your arms out. Exhale, coil that energy into your core. Inhaling, opening, lifting the breastbone. Exhaling, navel drawing toward the spine, gathering energy. Inhale to open. Now on this next inhale, we're going to radiate the arms and flip that left hand to face the sky. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, left elbow or left knee to that, or left hand to the knee, right arm sweeps long. Inhale, up and back. And again, just enjoying this beautiful flow in Dancing Warrior, trying to sustain the angle of that left knee. All right, stay in this flow, or we take it a little deeper. Dive your left arm underneath the left knee, Superman your arms. Inhale, up and back. Exhale to dive. Okay, challenge time. We're going to dive that left hand down and plant it to the inside of the left foot. Again, noticing if this is too deep a stretch, grab a block and place it under your hand or bring your left hand to your left knee instead. Breathe right here. And release. Lower your right hand down. Walk to the broad side of the mat. Feet become parallel. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk your hands as far forward as you can reach and hook your fingertips into whatever you found. So maybe that's the floor or the mat. Tip your tailbone a little more toward the sky. And then soften your heart toward the mat. You might find that there's a little more room for your fingertips to wiggle out. Go ahead and take advantage of that space. And then simply walk your hands back, bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way up. We're going to find our way all the way down to the mat, coming to seated. So you go ahead and do that while I adjust my camera. So let's start in butterfly pose. Draw the soles of your feet together. And we've been in hips all day, and this hip stretch is determined by how close your heels are to your body. So if you would like to go a little deeper today, you're welcome to do so. Just draw your heels in. The one thing we want to avoid is the death grip. If your spine is rounded and you are hanging onto your ankles for dear life, scoot your heels out a little further, okay? So sit forward, lengthen your spine, sit tall. On your exhale, hinge forward from the hips, keeping your spine long as you can. And once you've reached that spot where your spine won't move anymore while it's staying straight, then surrender. Bow into that space. Hello. Relax your head, your neck. And as you breathe into this hip stretch, remember you can always bring your elbows to your inner thighs or to your calves and apply gentle, emphasis on gentle downward pressure to open your hips out just a little bit more. You just have a lot of needs right now, huh? And from here, we're going to gently roll our way back up to seated. So I'd like to do a little bit of work in pigeon today, which is a wonderful hip stretch, but it's important that we get into pigeon safely because it can be a pretty deep place. So what I'd like you to do is come to low kneeling first, and I'd like you to have a block handy, just nearby in case you need one. So from low kneeling, we're going to try this on the right side first. Step your right knee forward. And then scoot the left knee back a little bit and begin to come down so that you are sitting on your right calf. So this is option A for pigeon pose. Option B, you can begin to heel toe that right foot out to the side. So we're finding an opening in the hip here. Now we want to stay centered. So if you feel like you're going to fall off to the right-hand side, grab that block and place it underneath your right glute. So once you have found the right position for your pigeon, we want to keep that right foot flexed. Inhale, create length, and exhale, bow forward. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhale. So this is called the pigeon waterfall, and it gets us just this wonderful movement of the spine. Now you are welcome to stay in waterfall here or to come down to prostration, which means we bring our hands to the mat and maybe rest our head on our hands or even onto the mat itself. Now in pigeon, we just breathe. We surrender to the power of the earth to open our bodies. Allow the spaces that are tight or are holding on you to just melt. Try to use your breath to help soften those spots. And then gently walk your hands back if you are in prostration. If you're in waterfall, just bring your fingertips to the mat. We're going to lift up and move that block if we were using it and shift back to child's pose. Draw your toes toward each other. Sink your hips between your knees, just softening. And notice what's different. Notice what has changed. And then roll your way back up to seated. We're going to feel that on the other side. So once again, we begin in low kneeling and we do it with a block handy. So this time we're going to step the left knee forward. And again, let's step the right knee back and then begin to wiggle our way down so that we are sitting on the left calf. And again, maybe we stay right here, depending on how our hips are feeling. Maybe we heel toe that left leg out to the side a little bit to get that deeper stretch. And again, if you feel like you're going to fall off to the left, just grab a block, tuck it underneath that left glute. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow forward. Inhaling, pigeon waterfall. And exhale. And we either stay in waterfall right here or we come down for prostration. Use this space to breathe. Come to your intention. Listen to your body. And allow it to soften. Allow it to relax, to let go. And then simply walk your hands up. We're going to lift up and remove that block if we were using it. Return your knees so they are closer to the same location, and then move into child's pose. Sinking the hips toward the heels, melting your belly toward the earth, and just softening. If it feels good, you can always rock from side to side a little bit right here. And then from here, simply walk your hands back. Find your way all the way up to seated. And let's tuck that left heel in toward our bodies. Right leg is going to extend long. Turn your heart toward your right foot. Inhale, create plenty of length, get tall. Exhale, single-legged forward fold. Remember, wherever your hands land is fine. So they might be on your thigh, on your shin, maybe your foot. Now with every inhale, we create a little bit more length. Every exhale, we soften. And again, remember the goal is not to grab the foot. The goal is to lengthen the spine, so let your heart reach toward your toes. And then simply walk your hands back. Let's switch it out. Right heel in, left leg extends long. Turn your heart toward that left foot. Inhale, create length. And exhale, fold over. Wherever your hands land is fine. Every inhale lengthens. Every exhale, we melt just a little bit more. And then simply walk your hands back. Roll your way all the way down onto your back. Draw your knees in and rock from side to side. Coming to center, to stillness, let's lower our feet down just beneath our glutes. Relax your palms down to the mat for our back bend sequence. So as always, I'll give you a couple options here depending on how your back is feeling today. Option one, draw your navel toward your spine and really feel your tailbone pressing into the mat. Your pelvis is going to tip up a little bit, so your pelvis will be reaching up. Exhale to soften and let that tailbone relax. Draw it in, exhaling, coiling, feeling that belly drawing in, inhaling, relaxing. So we feel that rocking motion of the pelvis. And this is actually called a dynamic pelvic tilt because of that movement. So this is option A. If your back's bothering you, I'd like you to stay here today. If you would like to experience a deeper back bend, we're going to move toward bridge pose. So if you've chosen that path, take a moment to come to a neutral spine, but draw your navel in just a little bit. So we're keeping some strength in the core. On your next inhale, press into your heels to lift your hips up off the mat. Exhale to soften just a little bit. Inhaling, lifting. Now check in with your knees. We want to make sure that our legs are parallel here, right? We're not splaying out to the sides. Sometimes it helps to imagine that you're hugging something with your knees, like a beach ball or a yoga block, whatever works for you. And on this next exhale, we're just going to roll our way all the way down, vertebra by vertebra. Draw your knees in when you reach the bottom and rock from side to side. Massage the back of your hips. Again, finding circular motions with the knees, if that would feel really good. Just a moment for a little self-care right here. Come to stillness at the center and open your arms out to either side. Drop your knees off to your right-hand side and turn your head to look to the left. Try to let the earth hold you here. Let this twist just be supported. And come back to center. Draw your knees together and then drop them off to the left-hand side. Turn your head to look to the right. Again, just relaxing. Try to let your body be still. Try to let the earth support you. Let your next inhale draw your knees back to center. Now from here, if there is any additional movement, any stretch, anything at all that you would like to feel, take a moment to honor that request before we move towards Shavasana. So maybe it's another twist or an inversion. It might be another hip opener, whatever would feel really good. That's what you put right here. And then find your way back to center. Let's set ourselves up for Shavasana. So remembering that classical Shavasana is done with the heels wide, about the distance of the mat. Toes fall out to either side, palms face the sky, shoulders are relaxed. Now in many bodies, including mine, this causes some discomfort in the lower back. So if that's you as well, just bend your knees and plant your feet the distance of the mat, then let your knees fall together at the center, allowing your bones to support you. You, of course, are also welcome to take other poses here, anything restful. You could take child's pose, you could take supine goddess pose, and seated meditation is always an option as well. So make your way into the right position for your Shavasana today. And then once you're there, simply relax into this resting space. Allow all the points where your body is in contact with the earth to simply soften. Let them melt. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes and your forehead. And if at any point in time you find yourself drawn into a thought pattern, simply acknowledge it and then just come back to the feeling of your breath moving in your body. And let go and float. Allow your breath to create space within your body. And begin to find some little movements of your fingertips and your toes. Just bringing yourself back to this day, to this time. Point your toes away and reach your arms up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in, full body stretch. Then exhale to draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Eventually find your way all the way over onto your right side and just curl into the posture of the sleeping child. No tension at all, just rest. Take a moment in this space that you have created to root into the earth and feel some of that wonderful spring energy rising up beneath you, replenishing you. And then whenever you are ready and you feel your practice is complete, use your hands to help press yourself up to a nice, easy seated position. Bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. We're going to close our practice today with a round of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, a prayer for peace. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste. Thank you, my dears. Scoot forward and shut off all the things.